I sure do miss hanging out with the boys at 3 a.m. looking for some beans. What the hell was that intro? Hey guys, it is Fox, and welcome to a video series that I can't believe people actually like, and that is my updated Commander decks. Yeah, a lot of people asked for these videos, and I guess I'll oblige. So, with the release of Ikoria and the new Commander sets, I have added some cards to my decks. I also got one deck I want to show you, which is this new deck, which is a Ramos 5-color deck. You'll see that at the end. It's not going to be a full deck tech because it's not ready yet. I just kind of want to give an overview, get some suggestions, all that. I do have a Cats deck that I made as well, but this one I'm probably going to retool, maybe add another color, just because there's so many new good Cats that I want to play, and white-green is kind of not enough. I think I need more. Starting with Bears, my Making Bears deck. So I added a couple new cards in here. The commander, by the way, is Ayula, and it's pretty much what you would expect. It's all bears. It's a bear tribal deck, mono green bear tribal. It runs bears, and more bears. I put a migration path in. I took out a what the hell is the name? Explosive vegetation for migration path, because they're essentially the same card, except this one has cycling, so it's a little bit better. Colossification, because the thought of making Ayula a 2020 just with one card is really funny. This deck ramps out pretty heavy too, by the way. I have things like Earthcraft, Great Henge, and I have Nyx Lotus, so getting a lot of mana really quickly isn't all that hard. Exuberant Wolf Bear, for obvious reasons. I mean, it's a chonky wolf bear. Why are you asking questions? And Evolution Charm. This is an old one. I actually got this from the Commander decks, but it's a good enough card to put in here. A lot of good it's a modular instant, so a lot of good effects that I can use. If I really need to, I can give something flying, if you know that matters, but it's also a good ramp spell. Feather Force. I don't think I've shown this one on YouTube yet, but this is my bird tribal deck. It's my Kanji blue-white bird tribal deck. If I have not shown the deck yet, I'm sorry. I will do a quick overview. I don't remember what I have and what I haven't. I'm pretty sure I posted on Twitter. But yeah, it's birds. It runs a lot of different birds, like Thieving Magpie, Augury Owl. That's a bird. Judge is familiar. That's Jeb. He's a bird too. I burped. I'm sorry. Aven Mind Sensor, and yeah, it's just running a bunch of birds. The concept of the deck is you get a lot of counters on Kanji, and then your birds swing for a butt ton. And here's the good bird who gets all the seed. That sounds bad. Dovescape, which is a card I probably shouldn't play, but I want to because it's funny. And yeah, birds. Just a lot of birds. Going from bears to birds, hitting all the bees. Hitting all the B words. And the new cards that I added to this deck are Souvenir Snatcher, great card. Mutate is not a huge theme in this deck, but it's good enough. Yori and Sky Nomad, which when I was building Kanji, I saw this card come out and I got really happy. It made the deck so much better. Cartographer's Hawk, just a great card. Vulpiki, for obvious reasons, shut up. And Dreamtail Heron, because it's a bird. Yoshi / Atla Palani, my Naya big creatures come out for cheap deck. Yep, so Atla Palani, she makes eggs, and whenever an egg I control dies, I reveal cards from the top of my library until I get a creature card. So the theme of this deck is really big creatures and a lot of small eggs. Basically sack outlets, so you run things like Ashnod's Altar and Phyrexian Altar to sacrifice your eggs so you can get triggers off Atla, and big creatures with big ETBs. Cards I added here were the Godzilla Buy a Box promo. I just think it's an interesting card. I want to try and test it out, see what it can do. It's a 7/3 with trample, and damage dealt to creatures I control is determined. Lethal damage dealt to creatures I control is determined by their power rather than their toughness. So basically, it switches what kills the creature that I control. So in this case, in order to kill Godzilla, you have to deal 7 to it. That's like the most simplistic way I can put it. Selective Adaptation, super fun card I really want to try. A lot of keywords in this deck, trample, vigilance, lifelink, flying. A lot of cool things. I think Selective Adaptation is a neat card. Luminous Broodmouth. So fun fact, this doesn't say tokens. Whenever a creature you control without flying, eggs don't fly. Meaning, you sack an egg and then you get it back. It's great. It's so good. It brings the eggs back so you can do it again. It's fun. And Mysterious Egg for mysteriously obvious reasons. Revy's Quest for the 9 Swords. Yes, 9. There are 9 if you count Sword of Dungeons and Dragons. Just let me play it. I only put one card in here, and it's the Hippo. It's Karuga, the Macro Sage. So, fun fact, permanents that are 3 or less, turns out those are all the swords. All the swords are 3 or less. A lot of equipments too are 3 or less, which means you draw a poop ton of cards off this guy. This beautiful dinosaur hippo. Look at him. Look at that face. That's a face only a mother would get eaten by. Crick the next, as I like to call it. Put a couple cards in here. Literally a couple, too. We got Serrated Scorpion. This is one that I immediately was going to put in here. Whenever it dies, deals 2 damage to each opponent, you gain 2 life. So this kind of goes with the chainer, the first chainer, the mono black chainer and the carrion feeder combo. Usually it's chainer, carrion feeder, and gray merchant, and you keep sacking and getting back the gray merchant to drain everyone's life and deal everyone damage, gain life. Serrated Scorpion does something similar. It's a lot less costly to your life though. So this kind of is also one of the infinite combos you can run with that. Plus it just looks cool. He's got like purple, and it's a rad scorpion. I like him. Also, Deadly Rollick, just a free exile spell if you control your commander, which usually I do. So, great card. Great card. I think all of these, if you control a commander, free cast cards are good. I mean, the blue one is the most expensive card in the whole set, and the green one also is pretty sought after. I like them all. For the most part, I like them all. I think the red one is kind of the weakest one, but they're all good. Goalless Gates. I think this is the one I added the most cards to. The most effective cards too as well. So first thing we got is Manascape Refractor. So this card has all activated abilities of all lands on the battlefield. My Goalless Tireless Pilgrim deck is a 5-color pacifism deck that just wins the game, meaning I play cards like Maze's End, which is why that's in here. I also play cards like, as soon as I Revel in Riches, approach the second sun, you win the game. No combat, no one loses the game, I just win the game. Manascape Refractor is basically another Maze's End, so it's good. Animus Awakening, this one came from the precons. I just never had one, so I put it in because it's great. It says land, doesn't specify basic land, so it's good. Song Creation, great card. Extra land drop. Whenever you cast a spell, you draw cards. You discard your hand, but in Goalless, it's almost meaningless. I'm perfectly fine having the gates in my grave. I'm perfectly fine with having stuff in my graveyard and being able to draw cards, activating Goalless' effect. It's worth it. And Parcel Beast, great card. I think this card might see a little play in other formats because you can put it on a creature that's been on the field and automatically activate it. It's essentially Coiling Oracle, just better. Lord Wangroose. I put some funny ones in here. So we got Dredge the Mire. Each opponent chooses a creature card in their grave, and I get those cards under my control. This is something that I really want to try out, see how it works. In Commander, very often, cards like this, where it specifies other people's grave being able to help you out, usually don't work too well, but I think if I can get at least 1 or 2 creatures off this card, I think it'll be worth it. And Farfinder, so Windgrace runs pretty much only basic lands. I don't play any dual lands, I don't play fetch lands, with the exception of the cheap ones, so Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wilds. And Farfinder is actually a very effective card because with Windgrace you discard lands to draw cards. So Farfinder is essentially getting me a basic land or a draw spell with Windgrace. Also, it's a fox, so I'm gonna play it. End of excuse. Big boy. This is my Niv Mizzet deck. This is my most treasured deck, so I keep it in the big tower. And of course, you know, I put Fierce Guardianship in here. I have to. So my Niv Mizzet has turned, well, it always was a UR competitive, or an Izzet competitive deck, but recently I've really amped up the CEDH of it. So it is a competitive EDH deck. So I am playing Leveler with the Thassa's Oracle combo. I'm playing a lot more, you know, quicker spells. It's not as slow as it used to be. Fierce Guardianship is automatically an include for this deck just because it's a free counter spell. So great card. Yeah, had to put it in Niv Mizzet. I originally was going to sell it. I wasn't going to play it, but then I remembered, now if I'm going to keep Niv Mizzet competitive, it's pretty much got to go in there. That's it for all the decks I've edited. You might notice CL Team Sphinx, didn't add anything into that. Rayhan Ishai, I actually took that apart to make new decks. I got like 3 other decks that are like in really early beta builds. Like 2 of them aren't even finished. I haven't even added lands into them yet. So I'm building a lot of decks. But let me show you my Ramos deck, which I'm calling Deoxy-Ramos Nucleic Acid. Biochemist like fans out there are like, yeah, that's a stupid joke. Shut up. So this is my Ramos 5-color Mutate deck. Yep, it's a 5-color Mutate deck. I saw all the Mutate cards and I thought, nah, I gotta play them all. So I made them 5-color. Very early build. I gotta play it at least twice to really understand how the deck works. But Mutate is really kind of crazy. Let's give you kind of an overview. So yeah, Poliwag Symbiote just makes Mutates cost 1 less, and whenever you cast one with Mutate, you draw a card and discard a card. Good looter. So yeah, Sea Dasher Octopus, Clever Impersonator, Cubwarden, Vulpix. I'm not gonna read them all, but yeah, you get it. I'm playing. I have all. I actually managed to get all the Mythic Mutates, which I'm happy about. And I kind of want to try and get all the alternate arts because I love them so much. This guy, I'm probably gonna end up trading it. Is it bent? No, that's just how it looks. Okay. I looked up here, and that's actually part of the art. I don't like these. I'm not a fan of Godzilla. I don't like foils in general, so I'm probably gonna end up trading this for a regular one and some other stuff. So yeah, I'm playing all the Mutates. Perforos is in there for a very, very good reason. So the way Mutate works, from my understanding, is if you had an effect that flickered the creature, the stack of mutated creatures, they would all come back onto the battlefield separately. That's the way I understand it. That's the way that I've been reading it online. And if that's true, cards like Perforos make this deck incredibly formidable, because you run things like Restoration Angel. They're perfect. Actually landed right on top of it. Cauldron of Souls, very underrated card. It gives any number of target creatures persist, so they come back. And with a persist counter, it'll come back and, if I understand it correctly, break apart again. So all the mutated creatures that are on Ramos will come back individually, and they'll enter the battlefield. Their mutate of triggers won't happen, and I can't cast them for the mutate. But I'll have an immediate field of creatures. So if that's how that works, and that's how I understand it, I can kind of use that ability in a very interesting way with Ramos, and that's kind of why I wanted to build 5-color, because I wanted access to every color's ability. So a lot of these instants and sorceries that you see I'm playing, they might not stay in. I kind of want to work around, play this deck a lot more, see what happens. Also, I went super budget on a land base. I'm playing the panoramas for searching out the lands. I'm playing pretty much basic lands. I hate 5-color decks that require you to play all the fetch lands and shock lands, and I don't want to play any of that. I go cheap on them. So Ramos, this is an interesting deck. I really can't wait to play it. I really want to test it out, see how it works, how well it works, if it works at all, and we'll take it from there. And that is pretty much it. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope I was a little bit informative. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. I always love taking suggestions from you guys, because a lot of you are smarter than me when it comes to Commander, because me am dumb brain who have to eat the beans in order to keep sanity. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you later in my videos, but until then, eat the beans. And drink the beans. This is a weird... What the hell? I don't know when I decided, like, I'm going to be the bean guy. What the hell was up with the beans? Oh.